Hello. I'm sure you can notice right away that this lighting is better, I guess. It's brighter. I've been told that my videos this year have been a bit dark. Not in content, but in terms of lighting. So I tried a couple things and by George, I think I got it. I hope you're all enjoying the Frequency Bone Summer Music Connection too. I want to make sure that not only is there practical content for you to have in terms of your trombone playing, but also to put in the contemplations that you're probably growing accustomed to me bringing up that have to do with you, music, the art of music, and music as a tool of connection and self-discovery, but not only self-discovery, but discovery of the world around you. Life. Every art is an expression of life. I had one of my great life mentors said, all things are in all things. Now I find that statement always with me. And it would take some thinking and looking at for you to see that. But everything is a microcosm of the bigger picture in its own miniature way. The reason why I think it's important, some of these thoughts, they might not be for everybody, of course, but I sincerely believe that whatever you process in yourself will make its way through the instrument if you want it to at least have some impact on your art. And this is why I think it's very important to balance technical criteria with essence or character criteria or the spirit of the music criteria. Very important. If you don't practice that, if you don't have that being integrated into your music, sometimes it doesn't happen. Some people have that naturally. I think I was prone to having it naturally. But I also had a grandmother that when I'd be playing, and she wasn't a trained musician, even though she had the ability to sing to me and take away my headache. Since, as far as I'm concerned, she was quite a musician. She would say, make sure you're playing with feeling. Thank you, Grandma. She wanted to make sure that it just wasn't empty. She could tell. There's either notes or there's something happening in the notes. Now, there's many different kinds of musicianship. And I'm not saying people have to play like me at all. As a matter of fact, I'm actually happy to say that a lot of times people can't tell, people who have studied with me. And sometimes they can. I mean, if you're with someone, things, wear off on you. I know that when I took my first lesson with John Swallow, he said, oh, I can hear Steven Zelmer in your playing. Well, I took that as a compliment. And at the same time, when I then studied with John Swallow, I know that aspects of his playing then came into me because I remember playing a radio show late at night, WQXR in New York. It was right after the BSO had done Mahler 9. I think it was in 1977. Something like that. We had just done Mahler 9. And we ran after, and this concert was over at 10:30 or so, when we ran over to the WQXR studios, and we had a live concert at midnight. And it was all very difficult contemporary chamber music, including Gunther Schuler's little brass music for trombone, trumpet, horn, and tuba. And someone said to someone in the group, "Wow, Norman Bolter sounds like John Swallow, but with a kind of a bigger sound." So, it's interesting how things come into someone and you're influenced, and then something else comes in and you can be influenced. And I think it's important, those influences. Those influences can be very, very important because it will open another avenue for you to explore and for you to take into yourself and integrate with your own musical process. Now, another trombonist shouldn't be your only influence. And I'm sure there's more influences to your trombone playing than just trombonists. I was very influenced by Sherman Walt, who happened to be my uncle by marriage. He was principal bassoon of the Boston Symphony. Oh gosh, everything he played had character. Every single note that he played had character. It wasn't a dead note. Everything was connected, living, vibrating, a part of the musical being of the piece and whatever piece he was playing. Same thing with Armando Gatalla. He used to be principal trumpet of the Boston Symphony. Same thing with Chester Schmitz. He used to be the tubist of the Boston Symphony. Same thing with Dorio Dreyer, who used to be principal flute. Same thing with Harold Wright, who used to be principal clarinet. They're very unique in terms of how they powered music. And I identified with them because I had a knack for doing that myself. But hearing them just open up more doors for me in that. I used to listen to Dennis Brain a lot. I used to listen to Maurice Andre a lot. I used to listen to Tommy Dorsey a lot. I used to listen to Isaac Stern, Jascha Heifetz, Misha Elman, violinist, Rostropovich on cello, Rostropovich, I've heard people say. You know, you can be influenced by so many people, like my grandmother's singing. Or my grandfather, who was a self-taught violinist. Or my dad. He would whistle and sing at the same time. Little did I know I'd be doing that on trombone in a different way, buzzing my lips and singing. And he was doing all these sounds, and he could imitate all these other popular singers of his day. Bing Crosby, Al Jolson, Jimmy Stewart, you know. And so I could see how things would get into people, and then they would express them out. Never think that you should only wait till the time of your private lesson with your teacher to learn. That is a very big mistake, in my humble view. You can take in and learn and absorb all the time. And you don't need to have to be sitting in an orchestra or a chamber music group or a lesson to have your music influenced, or even be listening to music. Nature is filled with music. The city is filled with music, and many great composers were influenced by sounds in nature, by sounds in the city, by sounds from their family, by sounds of their cultural, ethnic background. Let it come into you, let it mix in you, and see how that affects the personal art that comes out of you, so you can be instrumental for the things to flow.